It is time to quit. It's time to quit letting ourselves down, putting everybody else first, and then not really having any energy, any time left to really do what we need ourselves to be doing as well, so we can move forward towards our goals. If you can relate, please stay tuned, pardon me, because we're gonna dive a little bit into where this behavior might stem from. And I'm also gonna give you 5 tips that were shared by an amazing friend of mine the other day with me to overcome this behavior. Okay, so hello and welcome. I'm excited you're here. In case I haven't met before, my name is Katrin from bloomwithkatrin.com, and I'm coming live to you from the beautiful Bavarian forest over here in Germany. Please don't be shy. Let me know where you're tuning in from, whether you're joining me live or later on in the replay. Looking forward to be able to say hi to you personally down below. So I give you my best tips and strategies here on my page, and also sometimes on my personal profile, because I want to help you that you can take your business into the online space and create sustainable success while that journey towards your success, because for not most of us, it isn't an overnight thing. Okay, it's a journey that we're on to success, right? And this journey can feel good from the inside out. That's what I'm all about. So let's dive on in, okay? Because I can definitely relate to this, right? Setting high goals, high expectation, and then getting disappointed with myself for not achieving it because I tend to put others first. Let me know whether you can relate, whether this has ever happened to you and how it makes you feel. Because here's what often happens to me, right? So I'll sit down to actually start doing my online work, and then I'll check my emails, and then I'll go to my Facebook notifications, and I'm going to check my messenger. And if there's somebody asking me a question, that's the first thing I'll do, or I used to do, I should say, right? So that's my default reaction. Somebody asks me a question, somebody needs help, clarification on something. That's what I'll do first before I actually go to my to-do list, which isn't the most effective behavior. Looking at this way, it's obvious, isn't it? Why would I do that? Well, here's what happens to me, and maybe you're the same. Let me know whether you can relate, right? Part of it, I think, is actually a good thing. It's part of our nature, of human nature. We want to help each other. We are social beings, right? We can't really live all by ourselves, can we? So it actually makes us happy to help others, which is a good thing, as long as the price for helping others isn't that we put ourselves last all the time. We are not getting our stuff done, and by consequence, not seeing the results, not hitting those goals that we would like to see ourselves hitting as well, right? And what can be part of the equation actually is a lack of self-belief, a lack of self-worth, a lack of self-esteem, meaning, oh, what are they going to think if I tell them no? What are they going to think if I don't respond to them immediately? What is it that they are going to think? So I'm putting them and, whoever that might be, right, first, before actually doing the things that I know are going to get me closer to my goals. So let's find a balance here. And there's actually research at which age really we have our self-belief formed, at least the basic version of it. Okay, drop it down below. I would be curious to know what you think that age is. Okay, it's been a while for me, definitely, and I'm obviously going to give it to you, but I would love to see your ideas. What do you think, at which age for a human being it is that the self-belief really is in place when it comes to its basic form? I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are. Actually, it is at 7 years old. Okay, so we've gone through quite some things by the time we're 7 years old, right? There's been parents hopefully, guiding us, leading us into life. There's been kindergarteners, teachers, other authority figures, and they have all kind of like collaborated, if you wish, right? And so here we are at 7 years old, And maybe you can remember yourself being 7 years old, or maybe some children come to mind. There will be those who go like, oh, I'm going to just go for this. I can do anything I want, right? These people have a very different self-belief system throughout their entire life. As opposed to somebody like, I'm not sure. Is this really going to happen? Am I going to be good enough? No, I'd rather not even try it, right? This person's got a completely different set of self-belief and a completely different start into their adult life as well. So good thing is, we don't need to live the rest of our life with either or self-belief system, right? We can work on it, but it's definitely something that I want to keep in mind as well as we go through the tips that I'm about to give to you, okay? So what actually makes us disappointed in ourselves? Because this really can become a vicious circle, right? We set goals, meaning we're setting expectations for ourselves, right? And then we do or don't do the things we know we need to do to achieve those expectations and to achieve those goals. And that's our behaviors, right? So these are the two things that vicious circle is made up of, meaning we set a goal, we don't hit it, we don't necessarily do the things we know we need to do to achieve it, and there we are. Okay, yeah, I've disappointed myself again. I'm just not good enough. This isn't working for me. Okay, so let me know whether this is making sense. And I can't see any comments there, unfortunately, but I'm looking forward to coming back to yours later on. So engage with me, let me know your thoughts and whether this is making sense so far. Okay, so let's go to the expectations first, because obviously it's important to have realistic expectations, right? I'm going to take everyday example. I mean, we're moving over here where I live, we're moving towards the summertime. So many people are trying to get into their bikini shape, right? So some of us are striving to lose weight at the moment, right? Is it a realistic expectation in your experience when you see those posts all over social media where you can lose, I don't know, 10 kilos in 10 days? I would say that's not a very realistic expectation. Would you agree? Okay, it's going to be hard to live up to, whichever actions we take. Okay, so obviously our expectation, our goal needs to be realistic, or it is going to throw us into that vicious circle or cycle of disappointing ourselves again. Okay, but other than that, it comes down to our behaviors. Okay, so maybe maybe our behaviors are never going to get us to that goal, even though the goal is realistic. But say, let's take an easy example again. So say we wanted to lose some weight, and then we find ourselves, choosing the ice cream over the salad, maybe, okay, or the French fries over the salad, or whatever that might look like. Okay, now it's easy to get, to enjoy the food, hopefully, and then get disappointed at ourselves as we see we're not getting towards our results, right? But here's the thing. It's easier to stay disappointed and to stay in that vicious circle of, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do, but then again, I wasn't strong enough, And here I find myself again, not going to buy the bikini, but go for something different this year again, okay? So that feeling of disappointing ourselves. Or, and this is what I would strongly recommend we rather do, is remember that we have the power of choice here. Okay, we get to choose what we put inside our bodies or what we do when it comes to building our businesses just as much, right? So maybe it's time to look ourselves in the mirror in the evening and say, okay, this is my goal. This is what I did. Is my behavior, my action going to get me to actually getting closer to achieving that goal or not? And if not, okay, what might I do differently tomorrow? So let's dive into the 5 things that we can do to improve our behaviors, because sometimes that's easier said than done. Would you agree? Okay, so let's dive on in here. And number 1 is, and this is a huge one, and you will know what this is, okay? This might not be new, but my challenge to you is, take a look at yourself in the mirror and check in with yourself whether you're actually doing these things, okay? Because that's what's going to create the success, what's going to give you the results, or not so much. So number 1 is planning. When it comes to maybe losing weight, Are you planning your meals? And I'm not talking about putting your meal plan on a sheet of paper and have it there and then do something different, right? And just ignore it. But meal prepping, really physical meal prepping. Maybe, cut those tomatoes and those cucumbers and those carrots or whatever it might be, and prepare a nice dip with it, a healthy one, right? And have that sitting, waiting for you in the fridge when that moment comes during your day, right? When you just need something and when there's no healthy offer available, you're going to go for something that's less healthy. Okay, does that make sense? So that's meal prepping. When it comes to building a business on social, it might be content planning. Okay, it's such a relief. And I don't manage to do this every week, and something I'm definitely working on. But when I know what I want to talk about in my live videos, what I want to post over my business page, it gives me such a relief. I'm anticipating it in a positive way and not, oh my gosh, what is it that I'm going to post about? What is it I'm going to talk about in my live video tomorrow or, over the course of the week? So that's very, very powerful. So planning is huge. Are you planning? Drop it down below. I would be curious to see where you're at with that. And this is definitely an area where I will improve on. I'm working on as well. Number 2 is who's keeping you accountable? Do you have somebody, to also get support from? Okay. My favorite accountability partner ever is going to come home from school in a few minutes, and he's going to ask me, Mom, have you done your live video? Just as much as I'm going to ask him tonight, hey, son, have you done, whatever it is that you need to do for your school for tomorrow? And that's not necessarily always, oh, it's okay, you didn't get it done. Oh, don't worry, you're going to do it tomorrow. No. This is about, okay, when are you going to do it? Let's hold ourselves accountable, okay? Not to be judgy, not to, be negative with each other, but really in this positive way, really holding each other accountable for what it is that we say. And that's a huge part as well. Okay, so tell your accountability partner, maybe it's somebody on your team, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a child. I can only really recommend this. Doing this with my son is awesome. Doing it with your sons, if you have one, obviously, or your daughters, it's awesome. To me, my son is an awesome accountability partner, right? Tell people what it is you want to do. And if maybe it's a health goal that you have in your family, tell the person who tends to buy the food or who tends to bring home the chips, who tends to bring home all the sweets, right? Hey, for the next 2 to 4 weeks, let's not buy that stuff. So we don't have it available. So that's actually going to set us up all together for success. Obviously, it's going to be easier if everybody joins in on that, bikini shape in your family. It's going to be easier that way. Okay, does this make sense? Let me know. So step number three is value yourself enough. Now, when my friend Helen shared this really hit home for me, because I've planned and I've had an accountability partner for some time, but sometimes it still would happen to me where I go, okay, I'm going to put that person first. This person needs, this need of that other person is more important than myself getting my stuff done. Let me know whether you can relate to this one. This is huge. And this is where we come back to self-worth, self-esteem, self-respect, right? So let's value ourselves enough. Now, what might we do? Because it's something that we can easily say, right? But how might that look like put into practice? For me, I've actually put this on my mirror, right? Because I like to check in with myself once a day at least and have an honest look in the mirror, not necessarily into the real one, but this one I use it for. So I'll write my goal up on the mirror, okay? So everybody can see it. I'm proclaiming it kind of in my family as well. Oftentimes I'll do it in English so they don't understand, but that's a story for another day, right? So I see my goal, I see my expectation when I brush my teeth in the morning, at night, right? It's front of mind. That's huge. And then also, it's reminding me also of, okay, and where am I self-sabotaging myself? Okay, so keep it front of mind, have it present, but also do your check-in with your mirror. Look yourself in the eye at night and in the morning and go, okay, how about yesterday? How about today? Was I able to really follow through? Was I able to value myself enough on this day? And if not, what's one little thing I might tweak tomorrow to give more room to valuing myself enough. Okay. So step number 4, or tip number 4, really is start small and build up to that huge behavior change. Okay. It is about baby steps. Baby steps taken consistently are going to take us way faster to our goals than those huge jumps, right? That we might or might not take because they're so huge. Can you relate? Right? So achieve a bite-sized goal, cut it down a little. How do we eat an elephant? We cut it in bite sizes, right? A project that we want to do. Let's create a new pattern also inside ourselves, inside our mind, and also in our experience. Okay, let's have something. Okay, I'm going to reach out to one person tomorrow if we're talking about building your business on social media, right? I'm going to grow my network by one person a day, and I'm going to do that. And I can reach out to one person a day. That's not too much. You can really do that on any day, really, if that's what you want to do, right? Or I'm going to choose an apple once a day over that bar of chocolate, okay? And I'm going to value myself enough to follow through with that. It's not hard to do, okay? And then as I progress, and I won't compare myself to others because that's always a downfall, okay? I'm going to progress. I'm going to focus on my world, on my goal, my one little goal for this one day. And I'm going to experience that I can follow through. Okay. And that's how I'm going to build a new pattern of behavior and of thinking and of experience. So I can actually armor myself when when those doubts come in and those fears come in and say, okay, well, this is what I've been able to do. Okay. I've proven it to myself. I can do this. So it's very powerful. Start small, baby steps. Enjoy them and celebrate them as well with your accountability partner. Number 5, and this might sting, and this is something that definitely got to me when Helen shared this, was gratitude. Now, I like to consider myself as a grateful person. Maybe you can relate. Definitely, it's part of my morning routine to remind myself of all the things I'm grateful for. But more often than not, I feel myself, I'm going through the motions and I'm not really letting that gratitude fill my entire being. And that's when it's at its most powerful. Okay. So, because this is actually something that we all need to remind ourselves more of, I think, especially when we find ourselves not following through with valuing ourselves enough, with not always and only putting others first, but also putting ourselves on an important position, at least in our life too, okay, is how grateful are we really when it comes to our body, to our health? How much do we take for granted when it comes to that? How much do we take for granted as well when it comes to family members? And I'm definitely one who does tend to take things for granted there as well. And Mother's Day, it was yesterday for me, my part of the world, right? What a great reminder to really say, hey, Mom, thank you for all you do. It's so easy to start taking these things for granted, right? And they're not. They're not to be taken for granted. Right? So and this is actually research. Research shows when we're 100% grateful, in my words, when we let ourselves fill up with that gratitude, we are not going to eat unhealthy. Because how could we when we are aware of what a gift our health and our body truly is, and we get to live and we get to wake up in the morning and our breathing is working and our skin is feeling good, and we get to move and we have all our limbs and all these things, right? And I hope you do. And even if you don't, you can still be grateful for the things that we have, and that's going to help us rise over so many challenges in our life. And it's also going to help us do the little steps, the one on the daily basis that we need to take to achieve our goals. Okay. When we are really 100% grateful for our family members, there won't be abusive words. There won't be negative language because we are so grateful we get to live life with them. Okay. And I hope you can feel that 100% gratitude is something different than, I'm grateful for that. Okay. There's a massive difference there. We can be 100% grateful because somebody presented a business to us that we can now build 100% on the internet from the comfort of our home. If we can let our entire being fill up with that gratitude, there's no room to be afraid to not talk to people about what it is that we have to offer. Or is there? When we are 100% grateful, there's no room for fear, there's no room for doubt, because gratitude is larger and more it's a stronger feeling than the others, okay? When we just let ourselves be filled up with that gratitude. So I hope this resonates a little with you. Let me know. So let's get more grateful, at least for me. That's definitely one for me. I'm going to get more grateful. I'm going to get more focused in on planning as well, and on working on valuing myself enough. So let me know what your biggest takeaways were from this one. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day and start implementing whatever it is that you resonated with right now, because there is nothing good on this world unless we actually put it into practice and we do things. So go out and have fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next training. Thanks for watching. All the best. Bye.